Hey guys, today we're going to start working with Portrait Professional 17. This is the new updated version for those of you that have been using Portrait Professional 15. And I just want to touch on some of the things that make this version just a little bit different and a little bit better than the last. So with that being said, here we go. So the first thing we're going to do, if you have the Studio Max, you know that the capabilities allow you to do things like process raw images and even do image batches. If this is something that you only use occasionally, then this is not going to be something that's very important to you. But for those photographers out there who are taking hundreds of pictures at every session, you're really going to want those batch features. So with that being said, let's get started. I'm going to do an open single image. And these are some images that I took a while back of a friend of mine. It's absolutely beautiful. Okay. And these are straight out of camera, no editing or anything like that. So, okay. So the previous 15 version had something a little different when you loaded up a picture. It would say female, male, female child, male child, and they have combined that just to say child now. Another thing that it's got down here on the bottom right is it says fixed orientation, and I don't believe that was there in the last version either. So she's a female, so we're going to pick female. And wow, what a difference. You can see that the original photo was a little bit grainy. It was really a dreary day, and the lighting was very poor that day. We were in a hurry and kind of trying to hurry before the rain got there. So just wow. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my points and make sure my points are where they need to be, because that's going to affect my image. So once we get all these lined up, and that looks actually really good. Take this one in just a hair. And you can see kind of how it affects. Okay, so with those of you that are familiar, you know that when you pull up a photo, it automatically does some facial slimming and just some small adjustments for you. And already this photo is looking more professional. It's looking better than the previous version. So let's go. And the first thing I want you to see, it's something a little bit different. I thought that was really neat. It kind of speeds things up along if you're one of those that doesn't like to manually mess with your settings. I'm one of those people that I like to manually adjust everything. But for those of you that aren't, you can go over here to the right where it says presets. And you'll notice it's got pictures for you to pick from. And if you pick these, it's going, you know, this one's on the standard, but if I pick glamorous, it's going to change it just a little bit more. And I can go through and see the one that I like. That kind of makes the lighting a little more dramatic. And each one kind of tells you what it is. So if we're going for a softer effect, something a little more natural, I would probably stick with the standard. And these are just global adjustments, but I can go down and there's facial sculpt adjustments. You'll also get these little tips as you go through. And I just hide them because I don't use them. But read them. You'll want them the first few times you use the program. All right, so you can go through and you can do things like plump the lips, reduce the chin, things like this as you go, slim her nose, and they're just small adjustments to your image. You can do the same thing with skin smoothing, and it allows you to pick, this is the original skin, and how smooth and textured you want your skin. Yeah, that one kind of removed some of the lines and stuff up under her eyes. So it's really a matter of preference. This is really one of those click and go things, more like a phone app, if you will, for me. I like to manually do my controls, so you can even do your picture controls this way. Adjust your vibrance, which that's really give it more of a light and airy feel. It's even got some black and white adjustments here. And some little artistic adjustments. But it's all about the feel and the look that you're going for. I kind of like the deeper look myself. So if we go back to our controls, there's one set of controls that I really want you to see that's different on this. And I didn't really think that I would use it. I do tend to use background replacements in programs like Photoshop. But this is allowing us to do this now in Portrait Pro, so we don't necessarily need to take it to another program. And it's creating a mask for us. And it probably would be running a little bit faster if I didn't have my Lightroom and things open like that. So don't let that discourage you. I've just got a lot going on today. So as you can see, it's kind of pulled an adjustment. It's missed some places, and we can adjust that. So if we want to fill this foreground some, and pick up where it's missed those spots. And take out where we don't need. And I'm just going to go through and soften the edge a little bit. I don't need it that big. Go ahead and put that back in. And that's just creating a little softer edge around her hair for our mask. Okay. And we can also shrink our edge just a hair or grow it. You can shift it. Actually, it was on the shift. And I'm just going to go to an extreme so you can kind of see. How that affects it. You can kind of blur your mask. or sharpen it. Okay, and we can push next. And what that next is going to do, see how everything's kind of flowy? We can actually put in a new background image. Select backgrounds. I can actually, it comes with some that are built in. So let's look at the ones that are built in. These are some that are built in. I like that one. That one's pretty. And we can crossfade the two. So this is original. And we can crossfade it. Some with the other. I can select a different image. Crossfade it a little. We can adjust this. We can adjust the way the two flow together. You can blur it a little more. So maybe even put in something like this. This is very similar to kind of what she had behind it, but it does change it up just a little bit. It blends a little better with her hair. Just the background a little bit. You can make it darker, which we don't want to do, but we could. And if we push OK, that image has now transformed from what's here on the left to what's on the right. Gives it a more professional feel, a really better look to me. And one of the things that I love about this program, I absolutely love, let me touch this up just a hair. I can go to touch up. See, she's got a little spot there. All right. Right? And I love the makeup controls. The makeup controls for me are amazing. So I love the fact that you can add mascara and place that how you like. Give those bright, bold lashes that make her look like she's wearing fake lashes. I can nudge them down just a little bit. You can see on the original she actually missed her her eyeliner a little bit right there, and it created kind of a gap between that and her upper lid. So by doing this, I can kind of blend that just a hair, and it gives her these beautiful, beautiful lashes. I could do something a little smaller or a little lighter. I can even make them a little softer. So let's zoom back in, and I can turn the softness up or all the way down. So I'm going to do it kind of midway because we want it to blend with the rest of the image. And we could change her lipstick color. And I want to adjust this back to the shape of her lips. And so we could change this, we could change the texture, everything to give it that look we're looking for. So let's zoom out so we can see this a little better. I like to get a feel of how it's going to look if I start changing these. Like that one's beautiful, it looks natural. That one looks natural. And the bottom two are more like a matte finish. So I can actually pull this up, pull this down, give her a real bold look. Or really just any lipstick color that I choose if I want to. So let's And I really like this. I think it's just a pop of color, but it's not too much. So we can actually go down and we can add a little more depth. We can add a little blusher if you want. We don't want a whole lot, but you know, just something to give her a little color to her cheeks. And even a little bronzer. Which the bronzer is a little bit too much for me, so. And I can change this based on her facial shape. If she's got a heart shape, round shape, longer shape. So to me, this is already such an improvement over what we were dealing with. The thing is, we can deal with hair. Okay, hair tidying mode just a little bit. I love the hair tidying mode. It allows you to fill the shadow some and even smooth that hair just a bit. If we over smooth it, it's going to look like it's watercolored almost, but we don't want that. So we want to smooth it just a hair. And we could recolor this, but I don't see the need to. She's got a beautiful color to her hair. So I really don't feel like it needs to, but we could do that if we so chose. I can go and pick. And as long as we have it in our mask, see, it's only affecting what's in our mask. So if we wanted it to affect all of this, we would need to extend our mask to cover. Let me take my brush size down some. Okay, and as you can tell, I'm not being real careful on this, but this is much how it's done. Cut back on her neck. Yeah, so if we were real careful when we went in, we could actually recolor her hair. We wouldn't do something as drastic as that. It would be something similar to her own hair color, probably. Or even a bit lighter on her, maybe. So it's all about preference. So it is a possible, you know, it is capable of doing things like this. Should you need it done, you can even lighten it. But that's not something that I personally would do. I like her hair the way it is. I think it's beautiful. I really don't feel it needs it. But this is a great program. It's got your picture editing tools, crop, vibrance, exposure, all those things that you might want to adjust on your picture some. Can bring a little bit more warmth into the photo. So let's take it out and look. And it just gives it a little more bright and airy appearance. You can add a vignette if that's what you want. But this program is so versatile, and they are always expanding. You can adjust the eyes. Let's look at her eyes. She's got beautiful eyes. So we can brighten her eyes. Don't want to do it too much, but we can brighten her eyes some. We can sharpen her eyebrows, sharpen her eyes, make her pupils a little larger, a little darker, and whiten her eyes a little bit. You can even add reflections. You can change the opacity. So there's all kinds of things, and even on your mouth, you can clean and whiten her teeth. So it really just depends on what you're wanting from your program. But I find this program is essential to my everyday tasks. It does a wonderful, wonderful job of cleaning up your images and making them look clean and professional. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know there are a lot of people looking at this and going, well, do I really need to upgrade from 15 to 17? And my answer to them is yes. If it was me, I would definitely upgrade. It's got a lot of things that I feel like you'll need or want later on. I'm going to do some small adjustments as I'm closing out with y'all. But yeah, I think it's a great program. I don't see why you wouldn't want it. If you already have 15, you know how great it is and how easy it can make things as simple as making simple adjustments to a photo, or, you know, I color images, and even that it does an excellent job. So if you have any questions, just drop them below. Comments, we appreciate it. Thank you.